And welcome to Bookmas day 10, I think today is. Hello, welcome back, or hi if you are new. In today's Bookmas video, I'm just going to be sharing a few books I am hoping to read before the end of the year, but we will see how that gets on. Obviously, ideally, I would have loved to have finished all of the books that I had on my physical TBR before going into the new year, but I think that is a little bit unrealistic even for me. I actually do not have that many physical books on my TBR. I think I maybe have about 19 to like 22, something in that range, not including like Christmassy holiday romances because I need to read those in December, so they're not even counted on the TBR. But yeah, I think I have around 20-ish books, which honestly is really not that bad. I started the beginning of this year with about 50 or so on my physical TBR, I think. And then obviously I've been buying books this whole year as well, so my TBR at one point was just ridiculous. So we have got it down quite a little bit. Obviously I have read quite a lot of books this year, but these are a few that I want to hopefully finish before going into 2024. I obviously do have others on my physical TBR too, but these are kind of the ones that are at the top of my list. Ones that I am really wanting to finish before the new year. So let's just get into it. Okay, starting off strong, I have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is one of like the biggest fantasy books at the moment. I have heard so much about this. I've heard it be so highly hyped. I'm pretty sure that Sarah Crowley rated this 5 stars. This is one of her like top reads of the year. So I would absolutely love to get to this one. I don't really know what it's about. I just know that it is romantasy, but I think it is kind of like a low stakes type fantasy. Like rather than it being like a battle and dragons and wars and things like that, I think there was just like a magical typewriter, and that is like the fantasy element, I think.
When two rival journalists find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depths of hell together. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again. All 18-year-old Iris Winnow wants to do is hold a family together. With a brother forced to fight on behalf of the gods now missing from the front line and a mother drowning in her sorrows, Iris's best bet is winning the columnist promotion at the Oath Gazette. When Iris's letters to her brother fall into the wrong hands, those of the handsome but cold Roman Kit, her rival at the paper, an unlikely magical connection forms. Expelled into the middle of a mystical war, typewriters and tow, can their bond withstand the fight for the fate of mankind and most importantly love? An epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love.
Okay, so it's not really what I thought it was going to be about, so it is about a war. I've literally just said I don't think it's high stakes, don't think it's about a war. But it still doesn't sound quite as high stakes as other fantasy books. But anyways, I'm excited to get to this. And normally I don't like people on the cover, and I know that they are not like real people, but I do actually think this cover is very pretty, very cute, loving the little stars and the colour scheme and everything. Really want to get to this one because I've really been loving my fantasy books recently, so I would love to wrap up the year with this one. Another fantasy book is Iron Flame. Look at the size of this bad boy. She is huge. So this is the sequel to Fourth Wing. I read Fourth Wing in November, so I was pretty late to the hype, but I did pre-order this one before I even finished that. I really do want to get to it because I enjoyed Fourth Wing and I liked the world. I have heard conflicting opinions on this, and also it's just so huge that it is kind of off-putting to me. If I can finish this before the end of the year, bearing in mind that we are already into December when I'm filming this, then I will be one happy gal. But essentially I am guessing that this kind of takes off from where the last book left, considering we ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I've been looking for that bookmark for so long. Why is it in here when I've not even started this book? I would love to know.
She survived her first year at Beguiled War College, but the danger was just beginning. Everyone expected Violet Sorrengail to die during her first year at Beguiled War College, Violet included. But threshing was only the first impossible task, meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy and the unlucky. Now the real training begins, and Violet's already wondering how she'll get through. It's not just that it's grueling and maliciously brutal, or even that it's designed to stretch the rider's capacity for pain beyond endurance. It's a new vice-commandant who's made it his personal mission to teach Violet exactly how powerless she is, unless she betrays the man she loves. Although Violet's body might be weaker and frailer than everyone else's, she still has a wit and a will of iron. And leadership is forgetting the most important lesson Beguiled has taught her: dragon riders make their own rules. But determination to survive won't be enough this year, because Violet knows a real secret hidden for centuries at Beguiled War College, and nothing, not even dragonfire, may be enough to save them in the end.
Look at the illustrations on here. Stunning. I am really excited to get to this one, just purely because of how hyped up this whole universe has been. But like I said, I have seen kind of conflicting opinions on the book. People have said that it could have been like 2 books. But overall general consensus is that it is a good sequel. So I'm excited to get to this one. Whether I do or not is a completely different matter. Then switching it up from a fantasy, I do have quite a few romance books that I want to get through. I feel like I've kind of neglected my romance reads a little bit recently because I've been reading so many fantasy books, and then I've been listening to a lot of thrillers and audiobooks as well. So my romance reads have kind of been on the back burner a little bit. But one that I am really wanting to get into, because I am wanting to kind of read this whole series in 2024, is the Boys of Tommen series, and the first book is Binding 13. Again, this is chunky. Like, she is a big book for a romance. There's like, oh my god, there's 800 pages. I've just looked. I thought, I mean, looking at the size of it, I was probably a bit stupid thinking it would be like 500. But I've just seen the page count, 800 pages. But this is one of those books that everybody that loves it with their whole entire heart and soul. Like, they will defend this to the ends of the earth. And I kind of need that in my life. If you know me, if you have watched any of the videos on here, if you follow me on any social media, you will know that I am a series girl through and through. My favourite books are all part of series, whether that's because I get more attached to the characters, you're more involved in the plot lines, I don't really know. But I love a good series, I love a found family, and I believe that this has it all. I don't really know much about this, to be honest. I actually was pretty good and I only bought the first book. I have asked for the other ones for Christmas though, so I don't know whether that counts. Obviously I haven't even read this one yet, so I didn't want to buy them all for myself in case I didn't like it. I'm hoping that that is not the case though, and I'm hoping that I will love it. But as far as I'm aware, this is like a found family, friends to lovers, high school, college sports romance. I'm pretty sure it is set in Ireland, so we are getting some UK representation. We love that. Yeah, so it's set at Tommen College. The boys are on the rugby team, I'm guessing. And it's a little bit of a found family trope, which I love. And if it's friends to lovers as well, I just know that this is going to capture my heart and soul.
Johnny Kavanagh has everything going for him. Prime for stardom, on the rugby pitch is a force to be reckoned with. Nothing will stop him hitting the heights. Not even the shy new girl at Tommen College with sad eyes and hidden bruises. The one that distracts him as no one ever has. Life has never been easy for Shannon Lynch. She arrives at the prestigious private school, praying for a fresh start, desperate to shake off the demons that plague her. On her very first day, she encounters the notorious Johnny Kavanagh. Instantly drawn to him, Shannon finds herself once again the target of bullies as she forms a fragile alliance with rugby's rising star. But as they fall into a complicated friendship and grapple with their undeniable chemistry, Johnny and Shannon cannot foresee the obstacles that will threaten their blossoming relationship.
Okay, not really what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. I feel like it does need to be more than just a normal romance for it to be that chunky. But it's friends to lovers. Popular boy, shy girl. I'm gonna eat this up. And I hear so much about Johnny Shannon, so I'm really excited to get to this one. This is one that I am really hoping that I do finish before the year ends. Then another romance is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I actually read like 2 chapters of this when I don't know where I was going. I was on a plane somewhere and I read like 2 chapters, but then ended up reading something else instead. So I would love to finish it before the year is up. I have only read one Abby Jimenez book, I think, but I did really enjoy it, and I do hear very good things about her writing, and this one as a whole I think is her like most popular one.
Dr. Brianna Ortiz's life is seriously flatlining. Her divorce is just about finalised, her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor, and that promotion she wants? Oh, that's probably going to the new man doctor who's already registering 80-7 on Brianna's pain in my ass scale. But just when all systems are set to hit, Dr. Jacob Maddox completely fixed the game by sending Brianna a letter. It's a really good letter, like the kind that proves that Jacob isn't actually certain. Worse, he might be this fantastically funny and subversively likeable guy who's terrible at first impressions. But suddenly he and Brie are exchanging notes and sharing lunch dates in a sub closet. When Jacob turns out to be the perfect donor for her brother, Brie starts to realise that this quietly sexy new doctor might just be her perfect match too.
Sounds really cute, and from what I did read of the first 2 chapters, I do think I'm really going to like it. I've seen a lot about how the main guy character actually kind of showcases what it is like living with like social anxiety, I think, or like generalized anxiety, and that it does touch on those kind of themes like mental health, specifically men's mental health. So I am excited to get to this one. I love how Abby Jimenez writes, and I think if I enjoy this couple as well, it will be potentially a 5-star or very highly rated book for me. Then I have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. So this is the companion novel to Icebreaker, which I read earlier in the year and absolutely loved. So this one follows Russ, who is one of the friends that we see in the first book. I was kind of surprised that it was him that was getting the book, but either way, I loved this little friendship group, the setting and everything like that, so I'm excited to get into this one.
When Russ and Aurora cross paths at a university party, a drinking game ends with them spending the night together, but Aurora slips away before Russ learns her full name. This anonymity ends when they both turn up to their first day of work as camp counsellors, a job they had both chosen to escape Maple Hills for the summer. Given their history, there's an obvious tension between the two, but the camp has a strict no staff fraternising rule. Russ doesn't want to risk heading home early, but Aurora has never been one for rules. As things heat up, they'll have to resist or risk starting something they just can't stop.
I would love to read this one before the end of the year because I'm pretty sure book 3 is coming out next year. I mean, it's probably towards the end of next year, but I would like to kind of catch up, get this one out of the way. And like I said, I did really love Icebreaker, so I'm hoping that I will really enjoy this one too. Kind of does give me more summery vibes, but it's fine. Then the last romance book that I have is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This will be my first Ali Hazelwood book. I've actually not read any of her books before. I know obviously like The Love Hypothesis, Love Theoretically, all of those ones are really, really hyped up. But for some reason, I've never really gravitated towards them. But then I've seen this one, which is her first YA romance, I think. And for some reason, really wanted it. And the cover is really, really cute too. But I'm hoping if I like this one, then I will want to pick up the rest of her books and we can read them in 2024. So yeah, this one is YA. I'm pretty sure it's her first YA book and it is kind of centered around chess. I know literally nothing about chess, so I don't know why this was a book that I decided to start my Ali Hazelwood binge on.
Mallory Greenleaf is done with chess. Every move counts nowadays. After the sport led to the destruction of her family 4 years earlier, Mallory's focus is on her mum, her sisters, and a dead-end job that keeps the lights on. That is, until she begrudgingly agrees to play in one last charity tournament and inadvertently wipes the board with notorious king-killer Nolan Sawyer, current world champion and reigning bad boy of chess. Nolan's loss to an unknown rookie shocks everyone. What's even more confusing? His desire to cross pawns again. What kind of gambit is Nolan playing? The smart move would be to walk away, resign, game over. But Mallory's victory opens the door to sorely needed cash prizes, and despite everything, she can't help feeling drawn to the enigmatic strategist. As she rockets up the rank, Mallory struggles to keep her family safely separated from the game that wrecked it in the first place. And as her love for the sport she so desperately wanted to hit begins to rekindle, Mallory quickly realises that the games aren't only on the board, and the spotlight is brighter than she imagined, and the competition can be fiercely attractive and intelligent and infuriating.
Okay, so it's YA romance. We kind of have not enemies to lovers, but they're kind of going against each other, rivals, competitive rivals, and there's a whole kind of storyline with her family and chess breaking up her family. I don't quite know how that is possible, but anyways, yeah, I'm excited to read this. It does look like a short little cute romance, obviously YA book, which I feel like I haven't read in a while, so hopefully this will be a quick and easy one to get through before 2024. It sounds so weird saying 2024. Okay, moving on. Another one that I would really like to read before the end of the year is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, I think is how you pronounce his name, sorry if that is wrong. This is the author of The Silent Patient, which I read a few years ago, and I did really, really enjoy that. This one I don't think is as hyped up as The Silent Patient, but I still would like to read it. I love reading a thriller in the winter months, like when it is cold and gloomy and grey outside. I feel like a thriller just really hits the spot.
The Maidens are Cambridge University's most exclusive society, whose members are selected by the charismatic professor of Greek tragedy, Edward Fosker. When one of the Maidens is murdered, grieving young therapist Mariana Andros is drawn back to the idyllic campus where she was once herself a student. Because beneath the university's ancient traditions and beauty is a web of secrets, jealousy and lies, and when the killer threatens the person she loves most, Mariana will give her anything to stop them, even her own life.
So it's kind of giving dark academia kind of thriller vibes. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I did like his writing style, if I remember correctly. And again, it kind of looks like a short little thriller book, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get through this one before the end of the year. And last up I have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This one has been on my TBR for a while, but I've just heard not conflicting things about it, but it kind of intimidates me. I don't know why. I think it is more of like a literary fiction, I think, and I'm pretty sure it centres around video games. I bring this up all the time, and if I'm wrong in that fact, then that is really awkward, but I'm pretty sure it is about gaming. But I don't know, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to have kind of like a deeper underlying theme, and I don't know if it is kind of intense or if I've literally just made that up, but for some reason this book intimidates me. Don't know what it is, I've just put it off for so long. So I would really like to read it before the year is up, because I feel like this is going to be one of those books where if it kind of just sits on my TBR for like another few months, I just will not end up reading it. And I would like to, because I have heard good things and I do think it is rated pretty highly.
This is a story of Sam and Sadie. It's not a romance, but it is about love. When Sam catches sight of Sadie at a crowded train station one winter morning, he's catapulted back to the brief time they spent playing together as children. Their unique spark is instantly reignited. What comes next is a story of friendship and rivalry, fame and creativity, betrayal and tragedy, perfect worlds and imperfect ones, and ultimately our need to connect, to be loved and to love.
Okay, so maybe it is more of a romance than I originally thought. For some reason I thought it was like a literary fiction. But either way, I do really want to get to this one before next year. I know I keep saying that, but I just feel like if I don't read them, then they're kind of just going to get lost in the TBR, because I have asked for a few books for Christmas and then it's my birthday, and obviously naturally you buy books anyways. So I would like to make a big dent in my TBR before I get more to add to it. Another book that I sadly do not have with me, because it's literally not released yet, it is due to get delivered tomorrow when I'm filming this, is Never by Jessa Hastings. I literally cannot wait for this book, and I just know that I am going to devour it as soon as it is delivered and I have it in my hands. I'm reading it, I'm starting it straight away. So Jessa Hastings is the author of the Magnolia Parks universe, which is one of my all-time favourite series, is one of my most well-loved books that I've read in 2023. And Never is her first fantasy book. It is based around Peter Pan. It is like a Peter Pan retelling, reimagining, whatever the correct terminology is. And I'm just so excited for it. Her writing anyway is beautiful, and I just cannot imagine how she's going to write a fantasy book. Like, it's going to be life-changing. It's quite literally going to rock my world, and I can't wait. So I will no doubt be including that one in a reading vlog, because I'm literally obsessed and I haven't even read it yet. But that does sum up my end of the year TBR. Like I said, there are obviously a lot of other books that are sat over there on my physical TBR waiting to be read, but these are kind of the ones that are on my priority list to finish before the end of the year, before I end up buying even more books and the TBR gets bigger and bigger. So let me know if you've read any of them. Try and convince me to read them, please, before the year ends. But I do hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.